Game development is a dream for many, and on the surface, it seems like an amazing journey. You create a game, launch it, and hopefully make a living doing what you love. But reality is far different from what most people expect. The truth is, game development is one of the hardest creative industries to succeed in. You have seen success stories, indie games that go viral, make millions, and turn solo devs into industry icons. But what you didn't see are the thousands of games that never get noticed, the developers who burn out, and the years of struggle before achieving any real success. In this video, I am going to break down the harsh realities of game development, the things no one tells you before you start. This isn't to discourage you, but to prepare you for what lies ahead, so that you can approach this field with the right mindset and strategy. Making money is harder than you think. Many people assume that making game means making money. The truth is, vast majority of indie games barely break even, let alone become profitable. Let's look at some numbers. According to the data from Steam, over 50% of indie games fails to make even $4,000 in gross revenue. That's barely enough to cover development cost of a polished and complete game. Then you have to apply tax, and Steam cut its 30% from this. A report by Micros from No More Robots revealed that only top 5% of indie games make over $1 million, while most struggles to get even a few hundred sales. The stat shows only top 1 to 5% games take away the 90% of the money, while other 90% shares remaining the 5%. There is a huge gap in between. Getting noticed is a challenge. There are over 50,000 games on Steam alone, with 12,000 new releases every year. This competition is massive, and standing out is harder than ever. One of the biggest mistakes indie developers make is assuming that great game will sell itself, but game development is only half the battle. The other half is marketing. No matter how good your game is, if no one knows it exists, it won't sell. The Steam algorithm prioritizes the games that already have the engagement. Meaning, if you don't generate initial interest, your game won't even be recommended to new players. Indie devs often struggle with low wishlist before launch. Study shows that game needs at least 7 to 10,000 Steam wishlist before release to stand a chance at getting a good sales. Social media is flooded with game announcements every day, making it difficult to get noticed unless you have a unique hook or a marketing strategy. Make your games marketable. Decent but marketable games sell well. Scope creep will kill your project. One of the biggest reasons games never get finished is because of a scope creep. Many first-time game devs make the mistakes of trying to add too many mechanics into a single game, rather than focus on refining the core gameplay loop and mechanics. This often leads to an overwhelming and unfocused experience, making development harder and final product less polished. A well-scoped project with a strong gameplay foundation is far more enjoyable and achievable than the overly ambitious feature-bloated game. Data shows that over 80% of indie game projects never reach completion because developers either lose motivation, run out of resources, or realize they have taken too much. Burnout is real. Game development isn't just about coding and designing, it's also about mental endurance. Indie devs often work alone or small teams, leading to isolation, long work hours, and creative exhaustion. A 2022 survey by GDC found that over 50% of indie devs experience burnout. Many feel pressure to constantly be working, especially if they are funding their game themselves. Common causes are overworking without a clear schedule, lack of financial stability, constantly comparing progress to successful developers, feeling stuck on a never-ending project. How to prevent a burnout? Take breaks. Regular rest is essential for long-term productivity. Set realistic goals. Don't push yourself to meet the impossible deadlines. Engage with community. Talking to other developers helps combat isolation and keep motivation up. The industry is unpredictable. Even if you do everything right, success in a game dev is never granted. Some great games fail while others succeed due to luck or timing. For example, games like Among Us and Vampire Survivors were released years before they become popular. They only gained traction due to streamers picking them up. This means that virality is not a strategy. You can't count on the game going viral to succeed. Instead, focus on consistency and persistence. Many successful indie devs didn't make it big on their first game. They released multiple projects, learning and improving along the way. Lessons from successful indies. Thomas Happ, the developer of Axiom Verge, worked on the game alone for 5 years before it became a hit. Eric Brune, creator of Starter Valley, worked for 4 years before game was released, and it still required update and improvement after launch. The developer of Solid started with a small game jam project which they later expanded into a full game. The key takeaway: you need to keep learning, keep improving, and be ready to adapt. Game development is not easy. It's a long, difficult journey filled with challenges, and most developers didn't succeed overnight. But if you understand the realities and prepare accordingly, you will have much better chance of making it in the industry. If you're serious about becoming an indie developer, start small, focus on marketing, and didn't expect instant success. This is a marathon, not a sprint. What's the biggest challenge you have faced as a game developer? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights into a game development. Until then, we will see you in the next one. Bye.